My father introduced me to photography probably when I was 10 or 11 years old. He bought me my first film camera. Eventually I went to college. I took a couple of film classes, mostly black and white, on location type stuff. I really enjoyed it. As you can tell by some of the photographs behind me, a lot of what I started to do was nature photography. I actually traveled a little bit. I went out west, did some photo shoots out in the national parks in that neck of the woods. About 2007, I started buying cameras and lenses and just really experimenting with things, anything from floral photography to macro to landscape and pretty much anything that was in front of my lens. Everybody's influenced by Ansel Adams. I mean, who hasn't seen an Ansel Adams photo? Gorgeous black and white, silver gelatin print type stuff. People like Galen Rowell, who did a lot of color, landscape photography all over the place. Those are probably the two biggest influences I think that I've had. I like being out in the middle of nowhere. It's always nice to kind of get away and kind of reconnect with nature and you get to the top of a mountain. It's the deer that comes running across your path. It's the loon that you wind up chasing halfway around a lake to get a picture of. It's those types of special moments that are random that I think I like the best. Being able to kind of capture the majesty of nature and being able to see for miles, it kind of puts you back into perspective to realize you're really only this big in the grand scheme of things. I was looking to start a photography blog, and I needed a URL for it. I was listening to a Bob Dylan song called Desolation Row. The whole Desolation thing had really kind of chimed with my what I was doing at the time. So I just changed it to Road. That was how the name came about. It really kind of stuck. I started out shooting florals and macros and landscapes and the occasional portrait now and then, automobiles, whatever kind of suited my fancy. Now I've started to do more fashion, glamour shots, just model type shoots. I'll add a little bit of, Photoshop magic afterwards, as they say. Taking somebody's portrait can either be an exercise in futility or it can be an awesome experience for both people. A lot of people are not comfortable in front of the camera, so you kind of have to put them at ease and, give them a reason to kind of open up to you and kind of show something that's like inside of them, and that's where the magic starts. You got to be able to kind of bring things out in people and make them feel at ease. There you go. Keep your head just like that. Look at me with your eyes. There you go. Put your head to the right just slightly. I mean, anybody can get lucky and find a snake, but to actually connect with somebody and bring what's in them out is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done photographically. I bounce back and forth through a variety of different things. I like music. My son's a musician. I sort of dabble a little bit, but it interests me. And I've got a lot of performance photography that I'm proud of. I've photographed a lot of musicians, everyone from Eddie Money to Aaron Neville to John Popper from Blues Traveler to more contemporary person, Grace Potter, so I've done quite a bit of that. A lot of the more successful images that I took commercially, that I actually sold the images, were of architecture and local landmarks. I think people would have described as somewhat larger than life because I tended to manipulate things and sort of make them look more like a painting than a photograph. I think I'd like to become a little bit more commercially successful and do a little bit more maybe magazine work, some catalog work, things of that nature. But I think I would like to do more fashion, more portraiture type work. This area is art rich. I mean, there's more art than you can shake a stick at if you want to actually go out and look for it. And I mean, just look at Metroland or look online for events that are going on, Troy Night Out, First Night Albany, those types of events. You won't have a shortage of things to look at if you decide you really want to. Every artist goes through like a dead period where they're uninspired or they're having problems, either putting pen to paper or brush to paper or whatever their medium is. I think that's natural. Everybody kind of has a creative funk, but don't get stuck in it. And keep experimenting, trying new things. Don't lose passion for what you're doing. I think any kind of artist wants to leave the world a better place, you know, bring some kind of a happiness to whoever's viewing their art. Is that success? I think probably, yeah. You know, being able to leave a legacy of, you know, making something beautiful, making another person happier for it. I think that's pretty much the legacy I'd like to leave.